IFD started in 2014.
Yes.
And you really make a living out of this biomechanical functional analysis service.
Yes,
and there's no funding behind it. There's no research money behind it. It's really you make the living out of this service, and this is really, really amazing. I think this is what differentiates you from universities and institutions, other institutions, and that's amazing. How did you do it? What is the secret behind it? Can you share it?
Yes, I think what I already tried to explain is, the patient comes to us mainly from the doctor. They have to have a question. So why should I send the patient to the IFD? It took some time to come together, but I think we put a lot of energy in this networking, not only with the doctors, as well in the network with therapists, trainers, orthopedic technology specialists. And now we have a good workflow. We can offer like packages. So it's very easy to communicate now. Well, let's stay with a patient with a patellofemoral pain syndrome. So first of all, the doctor will check the structure. Is there any cartilage damage, or is there malalignment, anatomical malalignment of the patella or the femoral part of the joint? And if it's not, they would say, okay, so what is the cause of the problem? And then we have like this package, femoropatellar pain syndrome, and they know, okay, I have to send this patient to the IFD, and the patient here has to go through different steps, like strength, measurement tests, if they are able to do it, because they should do it pain-free, like the motion capture, a step where we really measure joint kinematics and kinetics, and other steps, so that we can make a recommendation for therapists. And on the other way, the therapists and trainers, they have to know, okay, what did they do, and what did they mean with the recommendations there. That's what I said, we have to talk the same language. Because if I have to call the therapist for every patient we would have, and we had to discuss it 20 minutes, this would not work. So I think now we found a way to do this. Very good.
But obviously it seems to provide the client or your patients, the customers, it does provide them with a benefit. So it really helps them.
Yes.
In the process of recovery, in the process of...
Yes. I think, well, of course, not everyone. Depends on what happens later, and the patient has to work, of course. Sometimes it ends in an operation, because we are not the ones who have to prevent every operation, because sometimes we say, I had a patient, for example, last week, he had a cartilage damage, and the doctors really didn't know why, because he had an edema in the knee. Half a year later, in the biomechanic diagnostic, we could say, okay, he has this edema because of the cartilage damage, and he doesn't want to go into this damage. Every doctor said, no, we don't have to operate it, because it's a small damage, but I think this will lead to the operation of the cartilage damage. Because otherwise he will not move properly.
In 2014, you told me you started with 1.5 team members.
Yes.
And you are now...
8 people.
8 people.
Yes, bigger team.
A bigger team.
A bigger team, yes.
So it's growing.
It's growing, yeah.
You told me about this one project. I really liked it a lot. You have regional elite soccer teams coming in.
Yeah.
And all of the team members undergo a baseline check here at the IFD for different functional tests. And in case, or maybe you explain what you're doing.
Yes. It's what you said. They make baseline tests, performance tests, motion analysis, running, sprinting, jumping.
Every player.
Cutting every player, yes. For local clubs here. nearby Cologne. And the good thing about it is we have their own norm data, because in the season some of them get injured, and after they feel better, and it's the question, can they go back to the competition, back on the field? We prefer not a time-based return to sport, but a criteria-based return to sport.
A functional
diagnostic, and we test, maybe they have a muscle injury, and we test EMG with EMG activity of the muscle. Is it working correctly? Does he have any movements to avoid pain, for example? Does he have any strength deficits after the muscle injury? That's one part that we do.
And that's amazing. You have a baseline, and in case they get injured, you know where they started from.
Yes.
In their recovery.
Yeah.
That's really amazing.
Yes.
That's really functional.
Yes, it is. Yeah. It brings it back to the point.
Tanja.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having
welcome.
Us here.
You're welcome.
At the IFD.
Yeah. Thank you for your interest.
Absolutely. It's so amazing that you're taking the biomechanical analysis to a next step in terms of functional assessment and individual functional assessment, and you're providing a service to people. That's amazing.
Hier, komm, trinkst du
Ja, trinkst du nur. Prost.
Prost.